My book is here, Whippin Debt Ass. Are you broke? Do you feel broke? The age that you are and where you are in life. Do it align with your bank account? Are you robbing Peter, Paul, John, and the entire Bible just to live? In my book, Whippin Debt Ass, let me tell y'all, I specifically outline the details of what I went through. How I was $50,000 in debt and I gave myself 12 months, 1 year, y'all. And in 11 months, I was able to get out of $50,000 in debt. And that debt was only 3 cars and 3 credit cards. Those 6 items was killing us. Whippin Debt Ass is a quick read book. You can find it on Amazon, and for you Kindle readers, it's available on Kindle and my website, StenellTheMoneyTherapist.com. The link to purchase the book is in the bio. Budget, save, invest, and live.
Six years ago, my wife took nothing but an ideal and faith and turned it into a multi-million-dollar business with multiple streams of income. As a woman possessed, she overcame all obstacles and created multiple streams of wealth that has impacted our family for generations to come. From mental health professional to therapist to author to CEO, she is a constant reminder of the grace of God over her life. Get ready to listen to and take notes from Stenell, the money therapist, as she schools you on money, entrepreneurship, and life skills that was not taught. No more excuses. Wake up!
Thank you, Tony. Welcome back to No More Excuses, Wake Up, where we talk about money, entrepreneurship, and life skills that was not taught. I am your host, Stenell Myers, also known as Stenell, the money therapist. This week, we are discussing money again. And you know it, man. We got to talk about this money. My book, Whippin Debt Ass. We are discussing the 8th chapter, the different burner syndrome. In this chapter, I am really teaching you how to strategically plan when it comes to budgeting. This is where this brain right here starts to give you a lot of the formula that I used when I got out of debt. I used a lot of different things, and this is one of them that I had to continually learn to use even from today. So what I said in the book is I saw these damaging spending habits, and I'm talking about myself, and I decided to take action. The more debt I paid, the more my anger turned into a straight financial beatdown. I was dedicated and committed to knocking out this debt, and with Tony's help, it only took a year, which is 11 months. It took 11 months. I equate my steps to getting out of debt as to cooking, so I want you to track with me. I'm about to give you some steps. And you'll really get it when you read the book, because with these steps, you need to see it, apply it, and you need to read it. So I equate my steps as of getting out of debt to cooking. Much like when you're cooking, getting out of debt requires you to have different things going on simultaneously. You can't have everything all clumped up in one bank account, right? I love to cook. I have the power to make the food taste great or taste awful. This is just like debt. We have the power to do good with our money and pay our debt, or we can create more debt and ultimately be blinded by it and stay in debt. Although I am about to present a correlation between kitchen burners and finances, this is a charting spreadsheet method, and it's not meant to take literally. So again, I do have a spreadsheet. It's on Stenell, the money therapist. When you click into that spreadsheet, it populates. You put your email in, and I have a video with it, and the spreadsheet populates for you. And it's all, I explain all of this. It's all in color form, and it breaks down everything that you're spending, and it's already calculated. It calculates for you. It's an Excel spreadsheet. So you must approach the following exercise in a methodological sense so you can understand that you must have multiple things going on at the same time while you are trying to get out of debt. So here's my cooking analogy, the different burner syndrome. When cooking, we have the option to turn the flame on low, medium, or high. When we cook on a high flame, we're usually boiling or frying food. The higher the heat, the faster the results. I'm going to say it again. The higher the heat, the faster the results. We're going to take this into a financial perspective as well. This is where we place our debt on the highest heat for the fastest results. We cook on a low flame with food that need more time or those that need to be treated delicately. Each saving component is to be on a low flame for which you are taking your time building while you're paying off debt. Each burner is set up in an automatic draft or debit, which is deducted from your bank account as you see fit. And remember, all 4 burners are working simultaneously. So what you're going to do is you're going to have your accounts set up to your banks. You're not going to see this going on. So all of this is not physical. So my burners is, burner number 1 is debt. Burner number 2 is an emergency fund. Burner number 3 is a car maintenance. And burner number 4 is personalized. Okay? So these are 4 different things that you're going on. I equate it to cooking, but it's 4 different things going on. All right? These things, you're going to have them set up to your account. So this burner number 1 is debt. Burner number 1 is set on the highest flame. You have a detailed plan to pay off your debt and you're sticking to it no matter what. You are aggressively paying off the smallest debt until the entire balance is paid in full. You will then apply the same momentum to the next debt and continue this process until all debt is paid. This debt can be anything from credit cards to car loans to student loan debt. The amount you pay on this debt is determined by the remaining balance from paying for essentials such as mortgage, rent, food, clothes, and utilities. You're whipping this debt fast and hard. You decided to change your poor money habits and you are ready to take control of your finances. There is no room for excuses on this high flame because you're burning debt quickly. You are tired of playing with your emotions and you are tired of thinking you will live the rest of your life in debt. So burner number 1 is debt. What you're doing is you're paying off your debt. You're paying this daggone thing off. So whatever it is that you're paying, normally it's the smallest debt. You hear people call it the snowball. It's the smallest debt. You just knocking it out. So it's on the high flame. So when you use my spreadsheet and you put all your information in on a spreadsheet and it drops down, at the end it's a envelope on a right hand side of the spreadsheet. It's an envelope section. And whatever's left over, that's what you use for your debt. That goes along with this because it's burner number 1. It's the high flame. It's you killing this debt. You whooping this debt's ass. You're taking that number and you're putting it down on that debt. That's why I suggest you download my spreadsheet so you can understand, because when you're plugging everything in and you can see it, you'll be like, oh, okay, I really don't need $200, for groceries. I was able to help someone that had a grocery bill of $400. I helped her shave that $400 grocery bill to $200, and that helped her debt. So when she came to the end of that debt on a spreadsheet, she was able to see, at the end of what she, all her money and what was left over, she was able to see she had $500 that she could knock out on a debt. And that's what burner number 1 is. But you really do need to use the spreadsheet with this to be able to really see it. So burner number 1 is debt. Burner number 2 is an emergency fund. Start building this account simultaneously while paying off debt by setting up an automatic draft out of your checking account. This transfer should be at least $100 each time you're paid. If you can afford more in this account, add it, but do not be aggressive in this area because you're stretching your money with a plan in other areas. So what I'm teaching you, and it's in front of the book, is the budget, save, live, and invest. we're doing this all at the same time. So you're going to go to your HR person. You're going to give them the bank account. This is going to be the particular bank account. It's going to be emergency fund. You're going to go online. You're going to name the bank account to emergency fund. That's going to be your automatic draft. You're going to give them the routing and account number, and you're going to automatically I do this all the time. You're going to automatically put $100 or $200 so it come out. You're not going to see it. That's going to be your emergency fund, and you're going to constantly do that. I know you hear a lot of people say start off with a certain amount, start off with $1,000, start off with $2,000. I don't suggest that. I say let's just do it and keep it going. We just do it, because if you start off with $100 and you do it every pay, you'll have $200 in 1 month, and the next month you'll have $400. If you start off and say, okay, I want to start off with $200 and subtract it, or I want to start off with $500 and then go back to a regimen, whatever you need to do so you can be on not being able to see it, because you're going to need more than $1,000. You're going to need more than $2,000, because your emergency can be more than that amount. I want you to get into the understanding that things always happen, and you don't want to be able to see this money or bet on this money. You want to just know that it's securely tucked away. So start building this account. I would recommend $200 a month. We're all adults. Try to do that every pay. That's $100 a pay. Any emergency account is used for emergency onlys, and I mean just emergency. If something come up unexpectedly. For example, a loved one passes away, you need to travel, you need travel expenses. You lost your job, you need money to survive until you get a new job. Your air conditioner stops working in the middle of August, or someone in your household becomes sick. An emergency fund is not meant for expensive perfume, to purchase a watch, or vacations. You want to make sure you have enough reserve at least once a month. That go back to the other chapter when I was talking about telling yourself no. Okay, so I recommend 1 month as a start, because it's easier to calculate and obtain once you have a month of reserve. Then work on another month of reserve until you have at least 3 months of emergency fund. So a lot of times you hear 3 months, have 3 months of emergency fund. What is good is to constantly make sure that you have your money stacked. When people say 3 months, so when you hear 3 months of emergency fund, and that is good, that includes your rent or your mortgage and everything. But realistically, and my book is realistic, we have to literally start from nothing, right? We're starting from scratch. So that's when you're going to start with that $100 or $200. If you start at $100, that's $100 every pay. That's $200 a month. If you start with $200, which I strongly suggest, every pay, that's $400 a month. In 2 months, you'll have $800. That's a good change. In 3 months, you'll have, do the math, Stenell, 8, 2, 4, 6, 4, 2, 400, 8. So backtrack. So if you do $200 in 1 month, you'll have $400. In 2 months, you'll have $800. And in 3 months, you'll have, I act like I can't add today. You'll have $1,200. I act like I can't add. So in that month, you're doing 400, 400, and 400, but it's 200 bi-weekly. That's what I recommend. But if you can't afford that other 100 to come out, then just do 100 every paycheck. So that is your emergency fund, okay? Now, burner 3 is car maintenance. Everybody have a car. Majority of people in this world have a car. Anyone that drives understands that a car is expensive like children. Your car needs fuel to run, oil changes every 3,000 miles, tire brakes, and tune-ups to help protect the life of the car. To this account, you will fund a little, and this is true, $60 bi-weekly. This is what I did. It is not much, but the $60 add up quickly. Before we know it, we easily have enough money for an oil change without dipping into another area of the budget. We want to make sure that our money is aligned right. So when you're doing this account, this car maintenance account, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to open up a checking account. It's the same situation. You're going to go to your HR person. You're going to give them the routing number to that new checking account. You're going to name this car maintenance car. It doesn't matter what you name it, but this is going to be for your gas, your oil changes. If something come up, or you don't even have to use that for gas, because some people like to use credit cards for gas so they can get the points. And that's what's so good about this, because you can figure it out. So what I do, and I still do to this day, and it's still $60, I'm telling you, I have the routing number, because I am my HR person, because I own the company. So you know, I just go into the system and I plug it in, and I put in the routing number, the account number, the amount, $60. That's all I do. That's $60 add up. That's 100. I could count little numbers. That's $120 a month. So what I'm saying to you is, before we know it, it's enough money for an oil change without dipping into another area. There's a catch to this burner system. To prepare for the winter, beginning in September, I increased the car maintenance amount to $75 bi-weekly for cold weather. So that's $15 more. But I'm in Florida. I don't need to do that. But depending on where you live, starting in September, you might say, okay, I might need a tune-up or something. Let me increase it. And that's a great thing. You can always increase if you need to increase it, and you know exactly what you're aligning or what you need to do, you know, in the future. I can recall while we were on a journey using the burner method, and I say this story that Tony, one time he was at work and he needed tires. He came out and his tires were like almost darn near flat, and he was tripping. He, you know, he was able to put air in it, and he just went in a panic. I need tires. We don't have tires. And I'm telling y'all, we was broke for real, living in this nice $270,000 house, broke as hell. And he called in a panic, and I said, we good. We got the car account. He was like, what? I said, we got the car account. We are good. I said, we have been saving $120 since we've been on this journey. I said, I think it's a good like 600, 7 in there. I'm not sure, but go get your tires. I said, well, come home, get the car account, because it says car account on the card, and take it to the store. And he was so happy. He was like, oh my God, like, we really doing this thing. And we still do this from this day. We don't use a business credit card, or we don't use any other thing other than what it's for. We don't take the car account and go to dinner. That's not dinner. When we need oil changes, I need an oil change right now. I'm going to take that card and get an oil change. It's the same thing for a tune-up. His windows is not working. We need to get these windows fixed. The car account, it constantly add up, and we don't never stop that. You can always increase it, don't decrease it. So that is your third burner, right? We're on the stove. Your fourth burner is personalized. So because we all have different areas that are important to us, I do not give this area a finite name. This allows you the freedom to think about what you need to save for when the time comes. This burner is entirely your choice based on what is important to you. So this is another debit card that you have. You go to the bank, you open up a checking account, and you personalize this for you. So this burner forces you to choose carefully and will force you to eliminate items that may not be important while you are changing your thoughts about money, which will force you to control your actions. Christmas, Thanksgiving, holidays in general, birthdays, weddings, pet care, whatever it is. I do have a holiday card because holidays include Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving dinners, they big. They don't know I'm really trimming down Thanksgiving. I don't cook like I used to. But Thanksgiving, Christmas, I already have an account that's allocated for that because that's what is personal to me. That's one of the accounts that I did choose. I don't have a pet, I already have a mortgage. So, when I say personalized, take your time, because you might say, okay, I want to do a holiday account and I want to save for the mortgage, and that's fine, but make sure that you have enough money to spread. And if you have another paycheck, like I just said in the other chapter, that other paycheck goes to just paying off them bills. So once you don't have no debt, then you have more money to spread. It's all about working with what you have and being smart. So this burner is for whatever you think that requires special focus. The first three burners must be funded because they are your priority. So when I say that the first three burners must be funded because they are your priority, meaning that the first burner that you're paying down your debt, the second burner is the emergency, and the third burner is a car, right? That's a priority. And let me just backtrack to the car. It could be saving for a car too, because in that particular account, I just put car. And so when I bought my 1997 Lexus 400, my LS 400, my beautiful tan leather Lexus with the sunroof, I paid cash. I paid $3,200, and it came off of that card. So I wanted to let you know I did that as well. And honestly, it was, I think for that particular time, I lowered it because when I knew that I was saving for a car, and I have it somewhere in this book, I think when I was saving for the car, I was putting up, I think like $160 a repay to save for the car. Once I purchased the car, I lowered it because I needed that money to go somewhere else. You're in charge of where you want your money to go. You can move your money around any way you want. So this account is personalized. So I said, when I decided to stop getting whipped by debt and start fighting back, it was October 2017, and the holidays were approaching. I wasn't prepared. Many of us are not. We end up charging holiday dinners and presents and slipping back into debt, having the mentality that we're going to pay off our holiday debt with our income tax check. Once you pay off your debt, you will move your emergency account to a high flame burner where your debt was. This took a year to accomplish. It may take you 2 or 6 months. Just remember to keep up the pace and don't lose focus. You must maintain the same behavior while building your emergency fund on steroids. You want to make sure that you are beating this debt down. So I just want to recap and make sure with that burner, that first burner, that high flame, that emergency, once you pay off all your debt, when you're using my spreadsheet, you will be able to see it. When you pay off all that debt that you have, let's say your debt is $10,000, or your debt could be, mine was 50, maybe yours is 20, maybe yours is 100. You are whipping this debt's ass. Any money that you have, you are paying that. You're using a spreadsheet. You're seeing what's left over. You're plugging everything in. You're plugging everything in the envelopes. Everything is getting plugged in. At the end, what's left over, you put it on your lower amount of whatever it is. If it's your card, your credit card, whatever it is. Once that paid, you go to the next one. Once that paid, you go to the next one. When all your debt is paid, and I explain, your next burner is your emergency. You're going to take that same momentum, and now when you was only putting $100, you're going to take whatever's left over and you're going to flood that emergency fund. So if you had $700 or $600 left over in that month, because now the more that you pay off your debt, the more you have left over, you're taking that and you're going to flood your emergency fund. So let's say scenario, I had $50,000 in debt. Mine was credit cards, so all this stupid stuff. I was paying $1,500 a month just in debt, right? Not mortgage, just in debt. So once all that $1,500 was done and that 11 months was over, I had $1,500, right? Everything was paid off. We owned our cars. We was able to own it and get all the paperwork for that. Now that $1,500, I took that and I broke that up. That can all go to your emergency fund. But for me, I put some in the IRA. I funded, some, extra money to go into our life insurance accounts. But I had $1,500 to play with. And that's what I want you to understand. So with my burner syndrome, once you knock all that stuff out on that high flame, you still take that momentum, your debt is paid off, and now you're killing your emergency fund. So if your emergency fund, you say you want $20,000, you take that $1,500 and you fund it. Because you already know what you're doing on my spreadsheet. You still living. You have $1,500. Your car's paid now. You don't have no credit cards. You're doing things different. So now you're killing that emergency fund. Okay, and you're gonna tear that emergency fund. Once you get that amount you want in that emergency fund, maybe you buying a house and PMI. You don't want no PMI. You don't want no mortgage insurance, and so that's the insurance that the bank have to protect them. It's not really protecting you, and that's like $1,500. No, maybe like $500 more or $300 to $500 more a month on your mortgage. So when you had 20%, you cover that. So you might say, okay, I'm looking at a house, it's 250, 20% of 250. I don't know on top of my head. You want to say, I'm going to save that. So you take this method, and after all your debt is paid, you can't have debt and save. It don't add up. It don't make sense. So after it's all paid, you take that $1,500 a month in this example, and you put it into your emergencies. Let's say it's $50,000. Once you have that $50,000, now, as I said, now with the car maintenance, you still have that $1,500. Now you can say, okay, I'm gonna put $1,500 up, and I'm gonna save me for the car that I want. Oh, I want whatever car. I'm gonna save up $30,000. It's the same momentum you're using. And then the personalized, the same momentum, whatever it is that you want to do, you're starting off with the momentum of the high flame with burner number 1, and you're knocking it out. It's the same thing. Okay. So you would really, really need this book to truly understand it. In a book, this chapter is long. I break down the car that we had. I broke down how much it was as far as the miles that it had on the car, the interest rate it had on the car, how much I paid the car. I purchased the car back in 2008. Car was $25,000. After having that car for 5 years, I paid $40,714.40. And I explained what I could have been doing with that $15,707. And a lot of you don't know that you're wasting your money in cars. It's BS. You're wasting your money on cars when you can go and purchase a car for cash. So this is a very detailed chapter. You definitely need the book to really understand. This is chapter 8, the different burner syndrome. And I teach you in this chapter how to get out of debt, how to stay out of debt, how to save, how to budget, how to build an emergency fund, how also to have a fund for your holidays expenses, your personalized expenses, whatever it is, but using my burner method. You go out there and you do what it is that you need to do with this ass. Get this book. And again, this book is on StenellTheMoneyTherapist.com. Amazon. You can also get it in Kindle while you're on that plane. You can read it. You can take notes. And with this ass, go out there and whip that ass. No more excuses. Wake up. Thank you for listening to No More Excuses. Wake up. If you love the show, please subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes or Spotify. To learn more about me and my different agencies and what I do, go to StenellMyersEnterprises.com. While you're there, check out Money Therapy Institute and watch my video where you will see me doing a little acting, showing you how I fought and kicked down closed doors. You can also click on Stenell the Money Therapist and get my free budget spreadsheet. And of course, you can email me at contact@StenellTheMoneyTherapist.com. I'm also on social media on Facebook at Stenell the Money Therapist and Instagram at Stenell the Money Therapist. No more excuses. Y'all know what y'all need to do. Wake up. Hey smart people, I have a 3-month one-on-one personal or business coaching program. As you all know, I paid off $50,000 in debt in 1 year. I will teach you how I stayed out of debt using my burner method and personalized spreadsheet I created to fit my lifestyle and keep me on track. You will learn how to understand your money communication style using my financial treatment plan. Also, if you own a small business and you feel stuck with cash flow or feel disorganized, I teach business owners and self-employed entrepreneurs such as yourself to financially maximize your money, build wealth using your business income, and retire working on the business while your business continues to run, such as myself. You can book a call with me. The link is in the show notes.